All right, you guys, I'm going to just jump right on in because I'm making a card for my sister. She got a new home. And so, what I'm going to start with is stamping these houses on masking tape and creating little masks. So that way we can create dimension and a little scene. So, I'm going to start by stamping the one I want to stand out front. And then I drew a line and I'm laying down the other houses just so that I can basically build up our scene. And my thought with this was I would just color the one house and everything else would remain black and white so that the one in the color would obviously stand out. And I'm using my Zig Real Color markers, just doing a little color, not a whole lot of shading or blending. But then I was like, you know what? I want to create the ground, like the green for the grass, and then I'm taking some of I think it's broken china, the stress oxide inks, and I put it on the edge of the block to create the sky. And I think it helps the house in the center really stand out. And then once it all dries, now, you do need to be a little careful if you're not using watercolor paper because if you put down and make it too wet, it will start to kind of peel. And so you just gotta let it dry, and then if you want more color in a certain spot, go back to it once it dries some. And it's just you keep adding and removing as you go. And I just grabbed a little bit of the green because right along, like I didn't get right to the edge of the houses, and I wanted to make sure it was nice and blended. Okay, so now once this dries, I'm testing it with my anti-static powder, and I'm just making sure nothing is sticking where I don't want it because I'm going to put the congratulations up at the top, and I'm using my Stamp-A-Majig. And once I have that in place, I'm going to move it and stamp straight down, and then take the clear embossing powder so that way the congratulations shines and is raised a little bit off of the card. And we're going to go ahead and heat set that. And then on the bottom, I'm going to turn here and stamp the on your new house. So, and you can see it's kind of crooked actually on there, but once I line it up, and because we've lined it up with the handle, the green handle on the side, once I find exactly where I want it, making sure the Distress Oxide ink is dry, I'm going to lay down and make sure I get it as straight as I can, how I want it on the front here. And then we're going to ink it up and go straight down. And it places right where you want it. I'm telling you, if you don't have a stamp positioner like the Misty or the Tim Holtz one, go old school, get you a Stamp-A-Majig, and it helps. It helps with placement, especially with your rubber stamps. Because at least with the clear ones, you can kind of see through and straighten it up as you're trying to place it down. Alright, so for the front of this card, I'm going to wind up using foam tape. And I decided that what I was going to do uh, was actually foam tape the part that we just colored to the black cardstock, giving it a little bit of a matte. And then I would just use regular ATG tape to put that onto the card front itself. And I'm using a lot here because of the water that I put towards, to the paper, because it's not set for watercolor. So you do get a little bit of warping. And then with the heat gun, it was just better to use the foam tape. And we're just going to go around real quick, use that ATG. Oh yeah, and I did hit it with the art glitter glue. My go-to. I love using both. And then I'm going to lay it down here on the card front. And this is actually a pre-made card. It's one of the Nina ones. So it was super easy. All I had to do was make up the front. It was already folded and everything. And in doing all this, I was thinking, you know what? Let me put a matte and paper inside the card as well. So that way, whenever I do that to the pre-made cards, even though the Nina is stronger, it gives it equal weight. So it doesn't seem like the top is top heavy and the bottom is all flimsy. I don't like the way that feels. So um, this is the way that I go about making sure it's added, some weight so that way it feels like a good sturdy card all around. And then I decided on the inside I wanted to put one of the houses, but I wanted to kind of stamp off on the bottom. I didn't want to put the whole house. So I put a little piece of paper there to cover the edge. And then I'm just going to take a black jelly roll pen and kind of fix my brick on the bottom because it didn't stamp fully. Super easy. It's on the inside. And then right here, I decided to add some yellow to the lamppost. And at this point, I was like, okay, I'm done. But wait. So I grabbed the envelope and I decided to take that same house. I'm going to stamp that and then stamp the light post. But I'm only going to color in the windows and the door and the lights on the lamp on the envelope. So it gives the envelope a little bit of interest too. And you can mail it. I'm not a big envelope artist like Christina Warner, but you can do a little bit of something and it ties into the card and it looks super nice. So here are some close-ups. I really enjoyed making this card. It was fun, quick and easy, and I like how it turns out and how that center house is popping out with just that, little bit of color, and it's doing that even with all that green and blue on the back. So you can definitely do some different things by keeping part of your project in the black and white color and then on the other, adding pops of color here and there. It's really cool. You should try it with a flower. Have flowers in the background in black and white and take one big flower and color it. Oh, it would be beautiful. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. At the very end here, we will have links to previous videos. I'll probably link to the previous card videos. I think I did a happy birthday, and I think one was a sympathy card. So I will link those here, and I hope you guys have a great day.